Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Everyday Girl podcast. It's your girl Kaylin. I'm the host and creator of Everyday Girl, and I'm excited about this episode. But before we get into that, I want to give y'all a few updates, okay? So, I use a platform called Riverside for my podcast. It's a little platform software thing where you can record your podcast on. It saves the audio and video, and it can through the platform you can upload straight on to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and even YouTube. However, though, I find it kind of difficult to upload, edit, because it's really desktop friendly. I don't have a desktop. I have an iPad and I have my iPhone. Don't have a Mac computer or any computer. I use my sister's laptop, but honestly, it's just not it is not working for me. And I'm just going to make my life easier and do something that, makes my life easier. So, what I'm going to do moving forward is just make my podcast. Well, I don't even know if I should call it a podcast because it's no longer going to be available on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It's going to be simply here on YouTube. Because I get to edit better, I get to play around with it better, and I don't have to deal with, oh, you have to use a laptop. And sometimes, like I said, I use my sister's laptop, but she needs it. It's just too much. So it's better for me to just not use that and just focus more like video based. I like uh watching podcasts, just watching the interaction between people, you know, just movements, emotions, like just you can see, So I'm a visual person, so I like that personally anyway. So just moving forward is just video based, and I'm just gonna be using YouTube because that other shit is just not working for me. By the title of this episode, you guys already know this is going to be, is Joan the drama or is the girls the drama? So I know I said we're going to stay away from the gossipy side, and truly and genuinely, I do not want to make this a gossipy podcast. Like I said in the last podcast, this is not a men versus women's thing. This is not black women, black men, straight, gay, like Muslim versus Christian. Like, this is not this type of podcast. It's fun. I want it to be interactive. I want to connect. It's solution based. But I also want to have like little fun things like this topic, to talk about, to um, lighten up your day or just lighten up a little. There's so much stuff going on in the real world. And sometimes, you don't want to hear about what's going on. You just want something to enjoy and just take your mind off things. So yeah, let's get into this episode, y'all. It might be a little funky. Like, I need to stop saying that, because this is my shit. It doesn't have to be the standard of what a podcast is supposed to be. Like, it could just be my shit. Listen, I wrote this stuff down because, like I said in the last episode, I have to write like a little script so that way I can keep myself on track and make sure I get the key points out that I want to give to y'all. Is Joan the problem? Is Joan the problem? I want to start this off by saying nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? So even the characters in Girlfriends, they're not perfect. And I'm not trying to make it seem like they're perfect. I also want to say Joan is my favorite character on Girlfriends. I seriously love Joan. I know it might be controversial. A lot of people, from what I've seen, really don't like Joan. And I'm just like, they always make it seem like Joan is the issue. And I'm just like, bro, have you not watched the same show that I did? Because the other hoes, them hoes, is the drama. They are a lot and they are horrible friends, okay? Now I'm gonna get into what I like about what I like and dislike about each character, because there are some things that I really like about some characters, and there's just some that I just strongly dislike, and I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay. Growing up, I used to always think that Joan was the problem. In my kid eyes, preteen eyes, I used to watch the show. I used to always think Joan was the problem because everybody always had an issue with Joan. As I got older, with my own adult eyes, my mature mind, I'm like, what the hell? All these bitches is the problem. And also, I love Girlfriends, by the way. I watched this show like 10,000 times. I find it kind of therapeutic watching it over again. Um, I think what I like about Girlfriends is that, yeah, they're all different. I feel like everyone can relate to these four women. Um, and they don't fit the stereotype of what is portrayed for black women, like just no education, just ghetto, ratchet, baby mama this, baby mama that. Like, they exhibit different types of black women who are in different fields. And I like that. I like that they go and get sushi. I like that they go working out. I love their little lunch dates. Like, growing up, I used to always be like, I'm gonna go to work. Then when I'm on lunch break, I'm about to go get some sushi. I'm about to go have lunch with my friends. Like, I really romanticize this show. And I think this is, well, I don't want to say first because we had Living Single, but it's one of the shows that really showed friendship. It's like, to me, the black version of like Sex in the City. Like, they're career driven women, well, except for Lynn. But they they just navigate in life, having careers, dating, uh managing their own selves and managing families. So I really love the show. And I love some of the conversations, because sometimes um it's important to see those type of conversations happen and see how people's answers and stuff like that. But yeah, like that, I really love Girlfriend, so that's why I really like be watching it like over and over again. But back to it, I really feel like Joan is a really good friend. Joan, to me, is the nucleus of the friend group. She's the glue to the friend group. She keeps everybody together. She is family oriented. She loves throwing like house parties, dinners, She is that go-to friend. When you need something, you go to Joan. I really feel like she's that strong friend that nobody checks up on. Everybody goes to Joan with their problems, and everybody depends on Joan. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, she is the most stable one out of the group. I would say, with the exception of Tony. I'm not going to include William. We're going to talk about William, but right now, we're going to talk about the four girls. As far as the core, which is Joan, Tony, Maya, Lynn, Joan is really the most stable one aside from Tony, because Tony also has a good career, good money, whatever. Uh, but even Tony went through a rough patch where she had to go and ask Joan for help financially, and that's okay. If you are struggling and you need help and you go ask your friend, you should be able to do that, especially if your friend has the means to help you financially, give you a loan or something. Like, I mean, I would hope so. You know, friendships is different nowadays. But for me, if I knew if I had the means to help, I gladly would help. Um, but to me, she knew who she was. She had standards. She had boundaries that she set for herself. Um, and I feel like she gets a bad rep because she is deemed as controlling, you know. Um, and I feel like sometimes she does want to get her way sometimes. And do I think Joan is perfect? Absolutely not. Like, I really didn't like how she treated Tony when Tony got married. I really felt that was so weird. I really did. I felt that was so weird. Like, this is your best friend. She's getting married. I mean, you might not have agreed like she should have got married right then and there because Tony and Todd had just kind of met and they was still dating. But however though, like shit, that's what they gonna do. They both got money until we later found out Todd, you know, he was in bankrupt or he had student loans or he was in debt or whatever. But I mean shit, they grown, they got their own money, you know, shit, fuck it. They love each other, you know. Um, I just know for me, I'm celebrating my friend. If you getting married, you know, that person makes you happy, he treats you right, you know, all the good shit. I'm gonna be there to support you. I'm happy for you. There's no way I'm jealous of my friend for getting married. I really feel like, I mean, unless you're like, dang, like damn, I want to be like her. Like damn, I just want to find my husband already. Like I want to be married. Like that, I feel like is okay. But to be the way Joan did it was really distasteful. Like when Tony had her, um, when Tony had her fucking uh cake testing, and she invited Ellis to come get his stuff in the middle of the event. I felt like, girl, you didn't like. You could have told him to come after. Why you want to deal with all that when all these people are here, you know? And you know all the little stuff that she was doing. It was really weird and distasteful, and I really did not like that. And even with Maya, when Maya got married, or no, she renewed her vows with Darnell, and they were planning the wedding. Joan completely took over Maya's wedding. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I don't really fucks with Maya. I don't really like Maya. But I do feel like Joan was in the wrong because why would you like this is not your wedding, babe. This is not about you. If Maya wants to have a circle of love, she wants her auntie or cousin pound cake, you know, her mother is designing the dresses. That's what she wants. You know, you might think it's ghetto or ugly. That's your opinion, but this is your friend. Let her have her moment. This is hers. Like this has nothing to do with you, sweetie. And I feel like she just got a little too overboard and she tried to take over and act like this was her wedding when it's not. So I understand Maya's frustration when it came to that. I'd probably say like that is like a couple of things I feel like Joan did wrong. And I think lastly is when Tony really needed Joan when she was going through that custody battle with Todd, and you know Joan was her strongest witness. And Joan ended up going to a party the night before. First of all, when she got to the party, nobody was fucking with her. Like nobody was trying to talk to her. Nobody was vibing with her. If it was me, I would have been like, shit, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. You know, I gotta do this important shit for Tony. Even though me and her relationship is funky right now, I don't want her to lose her baby. So ain't nobody messing with me at this party. They not, you know, talking. The vibes is down. I'm about to go. I already got to be up early to help Tony. That's just how I would have done it. But this bitch decides to get drunk at the party, like black out and misses the whole thing. Like Tony really could have lost Morgan, you know? That's really like all the bad things I can say that Joan really did, in my opinion. But I really think Joan is the reliable friend. She's always there for all of them. I mean, all of them. They come to her, she's just that friend. She's like the mother of the group, if you ask me. Um, so I just really feel like Joan gets a bad rep, like she really does. So now that y'all know that Joan is my favorite character, let's get into these other hoes, okay? And let me tell you why they really ain't no goddamn good friends, okay? I got my notebook because, like I said, I be taking, like, I gotta have my key points with me. Let's start with Tony. First of all, let me eat some chips. Now let's get started with Tony. One thing that I do like about Tony is that she's about her business. And I think the thing that keeps Tony focused and driven is that she does not want to go back to Fresno. She does not want to go back to the country old Fresno. I've never been to Fresno, so I don't know how Fresno is. I mean, I'm from LA. I think Fresno is probably about an hour or so away. But she don't want to go back to Fresno. Tony wants more for her life. She wants to, she's career driven. She wants to be the best that she can be. She's fashionable. She holds herself to a high standard, of course she wants to marry rich. I think Tony really just wants to be financially set. She grew up poor country, and that's not the life that she wants to live. That's not the life that she wants her kids to live. Really, she didn't even want kids, or she didn't even think, really about kids like that until she got with Todd and she got pregnant with Morgan. But I think Tony, and that's just something that I do like about her, because at one point she did get knocked down. She got fired from her real estate firm, or whatever you want to call it. And then, she kept hustling. She kept trying to sell houses. Then she started Tony Child's Realty. She started her own business, and she just kept going and going and going. And just, like, she's, to me, is a boss. And I really like that about Tony. She is sophisticated. She knows what she wants, and she's going to go after what she wants. And she doesn't apologize for being who she is, even though, we're going to get into how crazy she really is. But the good parts about her, she's not afraid to, she's unapologetically her. She's okay with people calling her bougie, or because she likes nice things, and she wants nice things. Like, she feels like it's nothing wrong with that, and I honestly feel like there's nothing wrong with that either. If she wants to marry a certain type of man who is financially stable, that's okay. I think a lot of us women want to have a partner, a man who is financially stable. It takes more in a marriage other than love, for that marriage to succeed. I mean, I'm not married, but my parents were, and I had a front row seat of what marriage is, so it takes more than just love to sustain a marriage. You need to be financially stable, communicate, have respect, all that, and it's nothing wrong with that. However, I do think that a lot of women want someone who's like a millionaire. Mind you, it's not a lot of millionaires out here, y'all. I'm not saying lower your standards. I'm saying find someone who is financially stable. This is some of the things that I like about Tony, However, now, this first fucking episode, This girl brought Joan's ex-boyfriend to Joan's birthday party as her date. Like, that already like will rub me the wrong way, because that's like friendship code, girl code. You don't date your friends, especially your best friend. Tony and Joan grew up together. They're fucking sisters. You don't date your sister's ex-boyfriend. I don't like that. Like I said, I like things about Tony, but she's very self-centered. She thinks everything is about her. I feel like she can be selfish. She is selfish. And don't get me wrong, sometimes being selfish is a good thing, especially if you're taking care of a lot of people. But in this case, it's not. It's all about Tony and what's going on in Tony's land. And then, oh my gosh, I really get pissed off when, they have this scene, well, in season 1, where, Tony cheats on Greg, and Joan slips up and opens her big ass mouth and tells Greg that Tony, was messing around with Clay. I understand, Joan feeling bad about spilling the beans, but at the end of the day, Tony was wrong. Tony cheated on Greg. You made that decision. You did that. So for you, like, I understand, really is misdirected anger. I feel like Tony is really mad at herself for putting herself in this situation and creating this chaos. So when Joan opened up and said, I accidentally told Greg about you and Clay, she slapped her and got upset about it. And she went to the fucking extreme and tried to sleep with Sean. Okay? That was bizarre. And Joan, to me, in that moment, was very, like, too forgiving. The way me and Tony would have been scrapping, we would have been fighting. Okay? I would have been dragging her out of my house, and she would have never been in my fucking life anymore. Because I apologize. Yeah, I opened my big mouth. My bad. I'm sorry. But you did this. You created this. Nobody told your ass to go over there with Clay. Nobody told your ass to sleep with that nigga. You did that. I didn't like that. And she never takes accountability for anything.
Pause. So, there was a time when Tony did take accountability, and it was when that whole mess with Joan and Tony was going down, and Tony was spreading Joan's personal information, and Joan decided to cut her ass off. And yeah, not Joan, but Tony decided to take accountability and basically give herself back to God and start going to church more and stuff like that. So there was a time when Tony did take accountability. And if I sound, you're like wondering, like, why do you sound like that? I'm a little under the weather, so yeah.
Like, I really feel like she thinks that she's better than all of them. And like, she feels like, I feel like she's confident at times, but she's very arrogant. And I don't like that. It's like, I don't like arrogance. I really don't. It's like a huge turnoff for me. A huge turnoff for me. And she thinks that she's better than everyone. As she does better, she makes more money. She'll jokingly, make fun of Joan. I mean, not Joan, but make fun of Maya or Darnell. Like, just, she'll make fun of people's finances because they're not as rich or financially stable as her. Don't like, and this is for all of them, I don't like how they always try to make Joan the butt of the joke all the time. Like, she's just some messed up, crazy, deranged, desperate woman. I feel like Joan is, she's successful. She's an attorney. And this is before she opened up her restaurant, but she was an attorney. She had a house. It was paid for. You know, she was financially stable. You know, she's good, you know, and she just wants to find her husband. She wants to find the one, her, you know, someone she can build her future with. And I hate that they make fun of her when one of her relationships fail. And they always say like, "Oh, Joan, you're the problem. You're the problem. It's always you." And I'm just like, first of all, if we go down the list of the men that she's dated, I don't really think Joan was the problem. First of all, the first guy we met, that Joan was in a serious relationship, was Sean. That nigga was a sex addict, okay? That's that. He moved to New York, and then he ended up coming back to LA, sitting down with Joan and telling Joan that he's engaged to somebody else. Then come to find out, she goes to dinner, sees him with another girl, tries to congratulate them. The girl is like, "Wait, what are you talking about? We're not engaged." That nigga lies to her and says that he's engaged just because he doesn't want them to get back together. Nigga, first of all, if you're coming back to LA, you didn't even have to tell Joan. You didn't have to stop by. Like, you didn't have to say anything. Nigga, when you was in New York, you could have just broke it off. You could have just broke it off and just been like, "This is not gonna work. We're done." And I think he did that. I think they both, no, they did. They both decided they were gonna call it quits because they couldn't do the long distance. So that's that. Do I think that was Joan's fault? No. They both decided the long distance wasn't working. Then that nigga came back and lied and said that he was engaged. Do I think that's Joan's fault? No. Who was the next guy? The big hit Marcus. I think that was before Sean, but I don't like, that's not even like, that wasn't a serious relationship. Then she dated that guy. He was a younger guy who worked at the firm in the mailroom. That, I wouldn't even call that serious either. I mean, Joan wanted to be married. She wanted a future. I really didn't think she really was into him like that, you know? Both broke up. Like, does that mean that Joan was the problem? No. Then don't even get me started on Ellis. To me, I really feel like Joan was with Ellis just to be with him. They had nothing in common. Like, he was not the one. Their relationship was so dry. And this nigga had a baby. Had a baby. A woman came out of nowhere claiming to have Ellis's baby. You know? And it's like, they weren't, there wasn't no enchanted love, as Peaches would say. It wasn't that. It wasn't giving that. It was just giving, we're just in this relationship just to be in this relationship. Then she met Brock. But also, her and Ellis breaking up. Yeah, they got into it. But I really feel like it was the both of them. I don't think Joan ran Ellis away, and I don't think Ellis ran Joan away. They just really grew apart. Then we have Brock, who I really feel was Joan's enchanted love. She, they were like a match made in heaven. I mean, I could see them being married, you know, and traveling, you know, just both just being amazing, you know. He didn't want to have kids though. So that was a deal breaker for Joan because she really wanted a family. And I know that was hard for her because at one point she was willing to sacrifice, like, well, shit, do I really want kids? Like, damn, I really love Brock. I really feel like he's the one. And oh yeah, she did cheat on Ellis with Brock. She did. Um, so yeah, that was messed up on her part. But again, they shouldn't have been together anyway. The only thing that was stopping Brock and Joan for being together was because he didn't want to have kids. That was the only thing. And she really wanted to have kids. So was that Joan's fault? No. They weren't aligned. She wanted to have kids. She wanted to have a family. He didn't. Then we know Aaron, she ended up getting engaged to Aaron. I like Aaron. I really do. I really feel like Brock was the one for her. Like, I wish Brock wanted kids because Brock would have made the perfect husband. However, I love Aaron as well. I really feel like he's a manly man. He um he checks Joan when she, does things, or you know, all that. I really feel like he loves Joan. Um I love a man that can check his woman and still, you know, um how like Dwayne be checking Whitley when she be doing little shit like that. Like, it's like, yes, check me, put me in my place. Put me in my place. But like, that's how Aaron is to Joan. And I really feel like he's husband material. They both want the same things. It's unfortunate that he got deployed back to Iraq or wherever they was having the war at the time. But I really feel like he was a husband material. Him and Aaron and Brock were Joan's my top favorite love interest for her. But I really hate that they always blame Joan for not keeping the man, like it's always her fault. Like, I hate that shit. I hate them making Joan the butt the butt of the joke. Is that the saying? I really hate that shit. And one thing, this is like my last thing about Tony. When Joan, opened up her restaurant, she started getting notoriety and popular from her restaurant. She started, getting popular. Things started popping off for her. She was getting invited to A-list parties and dating different guys, and you know, and those guys that she dated weren't like serious relationships. So that's why I didn't like put them in those with Sean, Ellis, Brock, and Aaron, because those to me were her like more serious relationships. But the other guys that she dated, she was really having the time of her life. She was having fun. She was dating different guys. She never, like, she even said, like, I never dated these many guys before. Like, I'm having fun. I get to party with celebrities. Like, that's exciting. That's exciting for someone. And don't try to act like it's not exciting. If fucking Rihanna invited you to a party, if you was going to a party with Rihanna, you gonna be excited too. So don't even. But she was excited. Life was just, it was popping for her. And I feel like Tony, because she was going through her divorce, she had just became a mother. She was adjusting to being a single mom. I really felt like she was hella jealous of Joan because Joan started getting more popular, you know? And I really hate that how, that one episode where Joan tried to be there for Tony. She was trying to spend more time with Tony and Morgan. She stayed at Tony's house for like what, 4 hours? Like, I think it was even more than 4 hours. She stayed there with her, helping out with Morgan. Then Joan had got a call saying, hey, it's this party, I want you to come, blah blah blah. So Joan is like, all right, I'm coming, I'm cool. So she's telling Tony, all right, girl, I'm heading out. Tony gets upset because it's like, what? Like, why are you leaving me? What? You're gonna leave me? It's like, girl, I've been with you all day. I want to go out and like, I have my own life. I feel like Tony would have loved to trade places with Joan in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And then she was just hella jealous of Joan, that she was getting all the attention and all the things that Tony is kind of used to. But because she became a mother and things started to change for her and her lifestyle, she wasn't as popping and popular like she once been. She now doesn't have the freedom to go out and do whatever she wants. You know, she has to take care of her child. Um, but it's like, bitch, where's your mama at? Where is your sisters? You got how many siblings did she have? She had like 7 to 9 siblings. Bitch, call one of them to come help your ass. You know, you got Maya and Lynn to come help you. Why do I always have to be the one to help save you all the time? And I get it. I'm not. I gotta stop putting my like. I'm not trying to compare myself to them, but you know, I had a friend who had a child, and I would help her out in any way that I can with babysitting. You know, I would just even come out over to hang out. You know, but I also had my life too, and she understood that. She didn't make it like, oh my god, you're never around me, you never hang out with me. Like, no, she knew like I had my life, and I knew that she had her life. Things changed because now there's a baby in the picture. There's a child. She can't hang out like she wants to. She can't just get up and go. She has to find a babysitter, you know, and it's just different factors that go in. I think the thing is the understanding part from both ends. I feel like Joan understood that what Tony was going through, but I also feel like Tony didn't understand that Joan is her own person. She has this is not about you. I can't focus on you. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to live my life as well. So I just feel like Tony was very much jealous of Joan when she was had her restaurant and she was getting popular and stuff. Next, we got our girl Lynn. Okay, Lynn Cersei. I really I feel like Lynn was a girl who is just lost. She's lost and she doesn't know what she wants to do with her life. And I get it because I've been there. You know, I'm still there. I'm still trying to. Sorry, my little brother in there watching YouTube, whatever, he's screaming. But yeah, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck I want to do in my life at 27 years old. So I understand that. However, though, this bitch got 5 degrees. Bitch, you mean to tell me you can go get you a salary based job to help fund your life until you figure out what it is that you really want, which we later found out was music. But it's just like, girl, you have 5 degrees. You obviously was interested in something. I'm trying to figure out what's something that I liked about Lynn. I don't know. Oh, I really I think I liked the thing that I liked about Lynn. You know, she was very educated. Obviously, she got like 5,000 degrees. Um, but she educated them a lot on things. You know, she was like the fact person. She had all the facts. You know, she knows all the studies and stuff like that. So that's one thing that I do like about Lynn. You know, yeah, that's pretty much all I can say that I liked about Lynn. You know, she definitely was a mooch. We all can agree on that. And Joan gave her way too many passes. Joan is a people pleaser though. Joan is a people pleaser and she needs to come out of that. I feel like Joan has did some character development as far as people pleasing. Especially like season 2 when she started telling everybody no and really started getting on everybody. She definitely started to get out of her people pleasing. Um, but Joan let her get away with too much, way too much. I mean, you let this girl stay at your house for 8 years, rent free. You did her laundry. You cooked her food. Like, you paid her bills. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's too long. At that point, I would have been like, girl, you need to go stay with your mama. Or you need to get a job or you gonna get the fuck out. Period. Like, I'm the type of person, I love my alone time. So I will let my friends stay with me if they're going through hard times. But baby, you gotta create a plan. You need to figure out what the fuck you want so you can get on your feet because you can't continue to stay here. Okay, like make a 6 months or a 1 year plan, but 8 fucking years, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's just way too fucking much. Way too much. And William, because at one point she stayed with William, at one point she stayed with Tony, but they cut that shit off. They like, listen, you got like 3 months, 6 months, and then, well, I think with Tony she had like 8 weeks with Tony, and Tony was already ready to cut her off. Like, girl, you need to do something because you gotta get the fuck up out of here. And William even was like, listen, you need to get a fucking job or you gonna get the fuck out. And that's exactly what he did. But Joan she let that shit slide way too much. I didn't like how in season one when Joan was dating Sean, and Sean really needed Joan to go on this dinner date with some people so that he can get hired for this new job. And they found out about his sex addiction, and they wanted to make sure that he was recovered from that, and he was in a monogamous relationship, and he really needed Joan to be there. And that episode, Lynn was just tripping, straight tripping, just saying little slick shit to Sean. And then Maya was having her surgery, and she was checking in. She didn't even have the surgery yet. She was just checking into the hospital. And they're like, why aren't you here? Like, I need you here, bitch. My man, he needs me. I'm gonna, and I feel like Joan made time for everybody. She went, she checked in, gave Maya a hug with, wished her the best. And she's like, okay, I gotta go. And they like, oh, you're choosing Sean over us. Girl, what the fuck? I came here to check on you, gave you a bear, but I gotta be here for my man. He really needs me. And I'm like, Maya, bitch, you have a whole husband. You have a village of people that can support you. Like, do you really need me to stay here all night? And I already told you earlier that day that I had to do something for Sean, so I couldn't stay at the hospital with you. So what's the issue? And Lynn just got really jealous over Joan and Sean's relationship because she felt like Joan was putting so much time, giving so much time to Sean. And it's just like, and she's mad that Joan missed one of her graduations. Bitch, Joan has been to every fucking graduation of yours and has supported you a lot of your adulthood. Like, bitch, please. Like, you're a very childish and immature. I did not like that. That I did not like was towards like the end of the season when Joan and Aaron, they started to build their dream house. And Joan rented her house out to Lynn. Lynn didn't like that Joan just kept popping up at the house and coming in unwanted and all this and that. I get, it's like, okay, now you rented this house to me. Like, this is not your house anymore. However, though, when that was Joan's house, you bitches was coming in there all willy-nilly. I think Tony even had a key to the house. Bitch, you stayed with this girl for 8 years. And now you all of a sudden want to set boundaries with her. Like, she has to knock. She has to do this. Bitch, what about all the time she let you come in her house? Y'all all just would always come over Joan's house all the time. Y'all would pop up. Bitch, you would even take Joan's car and drive it until it's all the way on E and not fill it up. And you would use Joan's gas card to fill it up. Like, bitch, the audacity. Like, how dare you, bitch? I didn't like that. But that goes to show that Joan needed to start setting boundaries with her friends. She set boundaries up with the guys that she dated with the 3-month rule. However, you also need to set those boundaries with your friends and let them know, hey, I don't like this. You either need to change or you need to get the fuck on or something. I really feel like Lynn was not much of a good friend to Joan. She just mooched off her, and yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. Whew. Now we're doing my least favorite. I do not like Maya. I do not like Maya's character, and I feel like a lot of people who I've seen do reviews on Girlfriends like Maya. I do not like Maya. She is a mean girl. I would say the one thing, because I'm trying to, be fair and say like some positive things I like about each character. Hmm. One thing that I like about Maya, I like her black pride because I'm proud to be black. Like she is down to the bone, proud to be black. I can't think of nothing positive about Maya. I feel like she girl, and when she tries to give advice, she's just like, I'm just keeping it real. You know how I do. But that's just you covering up your meanness. I feel like she is so judgmental. I mean, she is a girl who grew up in an environment where everybody was like her. So now that she's gotten this job at the law firm and she's met Joan, she's now experiencing different types of black women that are not like her. So she sits back and she just judges them and their lifestyles all fucking day. And I just feel like she just really wants to just get all up in their business. I mean, that's how the fuck she that's how the fuck she started writing her book, by literally spilling all of their drama into her book. And she even said it. She even said it when she was doing that book signing. To me, she's like the number one person who makes fun of all of Joan's relationship failures or whatever you want to call it. She's the first one to like call it out and like, you can't keep him in and blah 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 blah. It's like, bitch. And I'm so happy it was one episode where Joan kind of like checked her when she was living with Joan at the time, and the old girl had came over with had hooked up some illegal cable shit to Joan's TV. And Joan is like, "No, I don't want that shit in my house." And she's like, "Joan is just one stupid cable box. Like, chill." And she's like, "Bitch, basically, this is my house. Don't tell me what you bitch. You're living here free. I'm letting you stay here for free. Don't come in here and bring this illegal shit up in my house. And then not only that, this so-called new friend that you're hanging out with is affecting your relationship with Darnell. You're now arguing with Darnell about pointless shit." Like, second time Joan really got into one of their asses. And Maya needed that reality check. She needed to get checked, or the hard truth. I don't want to say check because you shouldn't be checking your friends, but she needed to hear the hard truth. And this girl that you trying to build a relationship with, she's not it. And I also feel like she's a little bossy, but bitch, you're not the boss. You're not the boss. You try to tell people what to do and how to do it, when it's like, bitch, who the fuck are you to be trying to tell anybody what to do? Like, and don't even get me started on Maya and Darnell's fucking relationship and how Darnell always blames Joan for, or Joan and him, as he would say, for all the issues that they had in their relationship. Don't get me wrong. I feel like I said before, with Maya, she grew up with a lot of women that was like her. And when she met Joan, she got to experience different type. When she met Joan, Tony, and Lynn, she got to experience different types of black women. So with that comes growth. You hanging out with different people. Sometimes you know, you take on some of their traits, or you yourself start to just grow, and certain things start to change, and I feel like um Maya, she really started to step into um her grown woman era. and have a mind of her own. I feel like Darnell he was the leader. He made like he was the dominant one in the house, you know. Even though she was, you know, a little sassy and had a little attitude, you know. But Darnell was, you know, really like the authority figure. And she really valued Darnell's opinions and whatever. But she just she's grown and she, you know, she wants different things, you know. When you hang out with new people, you just get uh your mindset starts to change. And not saying that it changed for the worse. I really feel like she's starting to just see things differently. She wants to try new things, you know.
Hey, so I want to piggyback on that. I feel like Maya was just exposed to new. You know, she hung out with these girls who are career driven, they own their homes, you know, they went to college, they have careers and stuff like that. And that rubbed off on Maya to the point where she wanted to go back to college. She wanted to have a career. She wanted a better life for not only herself, but her family. Not saying Darnell didn't want better for his family, but Maya was ready to go. I mean, she was had the plan. She was set to go back to school. And I just feel like they outgrew each other. You know, he would even point out, like, oh my God, you're changing ever since you hung out with these women. You're not the same, you know. And I don't think that's bad. She just wanted to grow. She wanted better for her life. And obviously, we seen they outgrew each other. She ended up having an emotional affair with Stan. And, you know, things just didn't work out for them. I mean, obviously, they got back together. But I feel like, you know, Maya just wanted a better life for herself and her family.
And I really feel like Darnell is an insecure, fragile, egotistical man, a boy trapped in a man's body. I hate how Maya never checked Darnell when he called her a bitter bougie ass when they went to that when they had that office party at the law firm, and she had that watch, and she got that watch from Stan, and Joan told her, you need to give that watch back. Stop cheating on your husband. He ended up seeing the watch, and then um she's up telling Darnell, oh, Joan bought me this watch, when they already had the plan of Darnell already had a plan, and he already talked to Joan about him getting Maya a watch for Christmas. Um I hate that he blames really Joan. Really Joan. I really hate that he blames Joan for the things that have gone on in their marriage. When it's like, bitch, first of all, Joan didn't do shit. Y'all two did. Y'all was in the marriage. Maya had an emotional affair with Stan, going on dates with him, crying, hugging him, and going like getting gifts and all that, you know, like emotionally just being with him. She was wrong, and they even told her. They told her multiple times, stop seeing Stan. Stop. And then Darnell had a lot of controlling issues. And that was also a problem in their marriage as well. And he also did cheat. I think he also had a problem with Joan because Joan ended up seeing him at the airport, and the girl was feeding him strawberries, and Joan went back and told Maya. So I think he has like some underlining issue still with Joan because he feels like Joan is trying to break y'all up. Well, nigga, no woman other than your wife should be feeding you strawberries. That's inappropriate. Come on now. Like, you wouldn't want someone feeding Maya strawberries. That would be inappropriate, right? So, I think he has like some he still probably feels a way about Joan telling Maya about that situation. But I just hate how she never checks Darnell about that. Like the way you talked to her was so fucked up. That was so fucked up. I I do not like Darnell. Darnell and Maya, goodbye. I do not like them at all. I really feel like they are ungrateful, and they all use Joan. They all use Joan because I really feel like Joan couldn't. There was nothing that Joan can take from the three of them. Nothing. Joan always had her shit together. The only thing Joan wanted was good girlfriends. She wanted her girlfriends to have dinner with, to go out with, to just have in her life, like her girlfriends. You know? I feel like they used her. They used her. Especially Lynn. Especially Lynn. She got away with that shit for way too long. Maya took some of the perks that Joan had and took advantage of her at times.
So my clip about Tony deleted. But basically, I don't think that Tony used Joan. Obviously, we saw Tony fell on hard times where she needed money, and Joan had the money to help out her friends. And I just feel like that's what any good friend would do. Like, if I had the money to help my friend, then I'm going to do that. Sorry about the background noise, y'all. My brother's in there making a whole bunch of noise, playing video games and wrestling, whatever the fuck they're doing. But yeah, so I don't think that Tony used Joan. I think Tony just really loved Joan because she put up with a lot of her shit that a lot of people wouldn't have put up with, you know? And I think Tony respected Joan in that way, you know, for even putting up with her, you know? So, yeah, that's just my take on that.
I feel like that was just true friendship, you know, like if my friend falls on hard times and I have the means to give her money to help her, you know, get by for the next month or two, then okay, that's fine, you know. I don't think Tony used Joan. I really don't feel like she used her, but I think Joan gave Tony something to where I think what it is that Tony knows she can be a lot. She knows she can be a lot, and Joan was really the only one that was willing to deal with it, to deal with all of Tony's craziness. And I think that's what kept their friendship, you know. And I think sometimes that Joan wanted there's some things that Joan liked about Tony. I think she liked Tony's assertiveness and um some of her like personality traits, you know. Sorry y'all. My sister is home and she's using the fan. If y'all can hear the fan, I apologize. And lastly, William. Now, I really love William. I feel like out of all the girls, I feel like William is Joan's really good friend. William has his faults, just like everybody else. There's some things that I wish that he's done better, but obviously they worked it out on the show. And I really feel like they should have never dated. They should have never dated. Like, I forgot. Honestly, I forgot about that. I forgot Joan and William dated. I forgot about that. But I really feel like they should have never dated. I feel like he is like he's the male version of Joan. Like they're both family oriented. You know, he wants to get married. He wants the traditional household. He wants his wife to, you know, stay at home, be a housewife while he makes, you know, the money or whatever. He's a provider, protector. He loves holidays just like Joan loves holidays. He's just as obsessed about it as Joan is. They have like their own quirky, funny, cute little relationship where they sing weird songs. Like they have their own relationship, and I think it's really great to see, you know. Uh and it's good to hear a male's perspective as well. And I really love I really love William. However though, like when he gets girlfriends, I wonder like if the girlfriends see an issue with him having female friends, because obviously on the show We don't really see him with any male friends, which he claims that he has, like maybe one or two. But most of the time he's with the girls. So I always wonder, like, what does the girls think? Like his girlfriends that he has had. Like, what do they think about him having all female friends? Like those are like his best friends that he talks to all the time. Like I said, y'all, this is at home studio, so if y'all hear my brother screaming, I'm sorry. He over there playing Roblox. If you have kids or younger siblings who play that game, you understand. Now, there is some things, that I feel like I did not like that William did to Joan when he dropped her as second chair in a big case. And this is the time when he was dating Monica, and we known her to be like a little gold digger who was trying to come into William's life and basically take over him or whatever. I think that was really whack of him to do. Like, he wanted to be, like, he asked her to be second chair, and he just dropped her. Mind you, like, they're the only two black lawyers at this firm, and this is good for him career wise, but this is also good for her career wise. And I think it was really fucked up how he just dropped her, all because he was listening to this bitch Monica tell him, like, I think you should just do it by yourself. Like, let all the shine be on you. I ain't like that. I'm not gonna get into Monica. Maybe I can do another episode about the extra characters, like the Darnells, the Monicas, the Ellises, Yvonne. Like, maybe I could do a separate episode about that. But right now, we're just gonna, focus on them. Another thing that rubbed me the wrong way was him just not sticking up for Joan during, like, in the workspace. They always have their issues at work. And I didn't like how, when it was a time when Joan was trying to, like, speak up, she felt like they weren't taking her serious because she's a woman. But yeah, those are things that I did not like about William. I really wish he spoke up for Joan more. And they did have a conversation about that. She did express to him how she felt. And he did, when they had the next meeting, he spoke up for her. But with their friendship, I really feel like when one does something wrong to each other, they accept it and they try to do better. As far as the girls, to me, they don't, but yeah, that's my take on William. I really feel like he's like the realest friend Joan has. So yeah, I really do. I like Girlfriends. Like, I love Girlfriends. I watch it like 10,000 times. But they are toxic, in my opinion. They are toxic as fuck. You can't beat it. And they are mean to Joan, especially towards the end of the season when Tony left. I just felt like they just kept coming at Joan. Like, they just kept coming at her. And I thought that was so unfair for them to do that. And I hope, the creator of the show, Mara, I believe she wants to end the show with the movie. So I believe she's still trying to, like, pitch and find some, like, a studio or something to back them to creating that movie. But I would love to see Joan get married and have her fairy tale wedding and have her kids. I would love to see the growth of Tony and her daughter. I feel like Tony's daughter is gonna really help Tony not be so self-centered and really mature. I would love to see Tony's growth. Maya, I really feel like we really not gonna see that much growth. She's still gonna be that mean girl. She probably gonna be a grandmother because Jabari gonna be like, he gonna be older. Lynn, We definitely can. I really would love to see her be more uh career driven with music, and maybe she'll might even settle down and, you know, get married. I don't know about kids, but get married. Same for William. I think William, to me, pretty much has everything. He has the career, he has the wife, and Monica was pregnant when the show ended. So I feel like he pretty much had everything. I think I would love to see William have his own firm and it be successful. But yeah, that's what I would love to see if Girlfriends would end with a movie. But overall, I really do love the show. Um, like I said, it's different black women of different walks of life, and um, they are relatable. But I would love to hear you guys' take on this, on Joan, or just all of the girls. I really love Joan. To me, she gives me like inspiration, and when I get my own place, I'm gonna have dinner parties and game nights and couples night. Like, I get that from Joan from just watching Girlfriends. She was the hostess with the mostest. Like, I get that from her. So when I get my own place, that's definitely what I will be doing. I love that Tony is career driven. She's a go getter. She's a hustler. I love Maya's black pride. I love that she's proud to be black. She's funny too. I should add that. She's funny. There's good qualities about Maya, but the only thing I can think of right now is the bad ones. And Lynn, I like that she's educated and she educates the women about different things. Um, and I love William as well. So I hope that y'all like this video. Also, y'all can follow Everyday Girl on Instagram if you want to. You can subscribe here to keep up with all the new things that I have going on, all the new videos. And yeah, we gon' we just living life, and we're gonna see where life takes us. I'm just trying to live life and live in the moment, not worry about the future. And yeah. So, as you guys know, if you watched the previous episode, at the end of each episode, I want to bring awareness to missing people of color. And there's this page that I follow on Instagram called Black and Missing Foundation. And this page basically just brings awareness to the alarming high rate of missing people of color. So I'm gonna read off the most current person that is on their page. Her name is Anaze Clements. Um, Hopefully I pronounced that right. She's gone missing since July 20th, 2025. She was found, well, not found, but well, hopefully God, I hope to God she is found. But she went missing in Newport News, Virginia. So if you guys live in that state, in that city, please go on Instagram, check them out. You can see the flyer. They have all the contact information. And like I said, I always want to just bring awareness, real things that are happening to the black and brown community. And it's a high alarming rate of missing black women, black children, black men that are going missing, and we need to do more as a people. So please check this Instagram page out, and yeah. Also, you can follow me at everydaygirl_. So it's EveryDayGurl_. And that's for all the little fun, little smaller clips and little other things that I post on Instagram. You can follow me there, or you can follow me on TikTok at Style by Kaylin. I am gonna be changing my name. So by the time this video comes out, I'll just put the new name of my TikTok account so you guys can follow. as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you guys please leave some comments. Let's discuss. We're building community here. Come on, leave comments. Okay, like, share. I will see you guys next time. Bye.